News Talk on demand. Interruption-free audio where you want it, when you want it.
Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen, the strangest 3 hours in Saskatchewan radio. My name is Jeff Richards. This is Paranormal, and we have a great show lined up for you tonight. I have one small little bit of business that I need to tell you about right off the top, though. Unfortunately, sometimes this does happen in the radio world. We had a cancellation on one of our interviews tonight. One of our guests, Mr. Jason Martell from Ancient Aliens, will not be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, he is ill, so the entire Paranormal team wishing Jason the best, the speediest recovery possible. We still have one incredible show lined up tonight. First up, we have Rob Gutro, and he and I are going to be talking about the existence of animals in the afterlife. Do your cats, do your dogs, do animals that we have, that we know, that we love, journey off into the afterlife? And is it possible that we can make contact with them after they pass? Do they have souls? These are all questions that we're going to talk about with Rob Gutro. You're going to be interested to know as well. I just posted an incredible video on the Jeff Richards Paranormal Facebook page. That's facebook.com/talkparanormal. Check out the video. It's a little bit morbid because it actually shows a mouse caught in a mousetrap. And you see the mouse as it's dying. So unfortunately it's a bit graphic, but something really interesting, something really incredible happens at exactly 43 seconds. I want you to check out the video. Facebook.com/talkparanormal. Watch the video. I just posted it. It's right up there at the front of the Facebook page. Watch the video and look at what happens at 43 seconds. What do you see there? I want you to weigh in. You can text me at 306-306, or you can give us a call at 1-877-300-7275. You'll find that video right at the top of the page, pinned right to the top of the Jeff Richards Paranormal Facebook page. Comment, text. Let's get your input. It's an incredible video, and I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence. Also, tonight, we have a gentleman by the name of Mike Drake, who's going to be joining us just after 9 o'clock. He is a Krampus expert. Now, what do I mean by that? And who is Krampus, by the way? Well, Krampus is a mythical creature. No, apparently, allegedly mythical. We don't know. Maybe he exists. I have no idea. But he is a Christmas icon. There was a big Hollywood blockbuster movie that just came out with Krampus in it. He is essentially I'm going to say he's like if you look at Christmas as Star Wars, and you look at, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, all those guys as Santa Claus. They're the Force. They're Jedi. They're on the good side. Well, Krampus is like Darth Vader of Christmas. He is to Santa Claus as Darth Vader would be to Luke Skywalker. And I'm using Star Wars references because I just caught the new movie, and hats off to the incredible staff at the IMAX. By the way, I saw it on the IMAX screen there on the 18th, and they did a great job getting everybody in and out. And the movie was just spectacular. I've two favorite Star Wars movies now. My most favorite, and this is going to be blasphemy to lots of you. Many say, "Oh, Empire Strikes Back is the best." My favorite, New Hope. My second favorite, Force Awakens. Not going to spoil anything for you, but go see it. It is absolutely incredible. So as I was saying, Krampus and Santa Claus. So Krampus is the Darth Vader to Santa Claus as Luke Skywalker would be to Darth Vader. He's the bad guy. He's the negative guy. He's the guy that takes the nasty kids, drags them into the woods, and holds them captive there. December the 5th typically is Krampus Day. But today, because this is our last broadcast before Christmas Eve, we're going to be talking with Mike Drake at the end of the program about 9 o'clock about Krampus. So stay tuned for all the details on that. But right now, a good portion of you, every single week, will text into the show. And you can do that tonight at 306-306. And one of the questions that came up about 2.5 weeks ago was with regards to animals, and whether or not there were spirit animals, whether or not animals were able to haunt places, to haunt individuals, and whether or not animals, our animal friends, those individuals that we love, that we care for, that sometimes in some ways are closer to us than our families. As weird as it might be to say, we live in a culture nowadays where animals are almost on a level playing field, an even playing field with humans in some ways. We love animals. I'm an animal lover myself. I have 2 cats and a dog, and I love them. I love those animals not quite as though they were my family, because I've got kids and a wife, so I don't quite put them on the same level as my children, but, it's still, there's a part of you that dies, that really gets hurt when one of those animals passes away. So tonight, we bring on a friend of this program now, Mr. Rob Gutro here. He joins us this evening. Rob, welcome to the program. How are you tonight, sir? Oh, do we have Rob? Oh, Ethan, we need to get Rob on the line, please. Rob, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, hello, Rob. How are you? Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical glitch there in our control room. Rob, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. Now, Rob, you're a psychic medium. You've written some books. You've got a great blog that you carry about this exact topic. Your one book, Pets in the Afterlife, is really what I want to focus on today. I want to talk a lot about the existence of animal souls in the afterlife, on the other side. So let's just sort of get it out of the way, just right up front. In your opinion, do animals have souls, and do those souls continue on after the animals pass away?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, because people will ask me, they'll say, well, so often we see these paranormal shows and we see investigations where they are making contact with human spirits. Why do we never see any animal spirit shows? And why are people never in contact with spirit animals? Which I tell them first and foremost, A, that's not true. There's lots of instances of hauntings from animals. But in your experience, have you actually had an opportunity to maybe make contact with deceased animals in the past, Rob?
I have, actually, both earthbound, which I call ghosts, and those who have crossed over, which I call spirits. Yes.
And what has the experience been like? How does that communication take place? How does it happen most often?
Well, it actually takes place in a lot of different ways. Animals are basically taught the same way that we teach humans. I heard you talk about your human children and your pet children, and basically, animals can communicate the same way that maybe a 3 to 5 year old child does. Because if you think about it, we teach them the language. They know words. They can read our emotions. They have emotions of their own. They know when we're sick. They know when we're angry, when we're happy, when we're excited, when we're depressed. Just like children know. Mm-hmm. So, as a result, it's been proven scientifically that they have the intelligence and the emotions of a 3 to 5 year old child.
Correct. Yes, so, I've read that as well. That the smartest dog is about the same intelligence level as a 3 to 5 year old, just as you said. Yes. So then their level of communication, like how they're able to communicate after they've passed away, is it? Because I've never personally had an experience with a ghost animal. So walk us through that. Maybe give us an indication of an event that you've experienced, or some point where you've actually made contact. What was it like?
Well, to begin with, I will tell you that I found out that I had the ability to communicate with pets that have passed when my own puppy, Buzz, passed in 2005. He was tragically killed in front of me by a car when his leash opened, and he started coming to me pretty much immediately. He gave me musical signs. He moved things. I heard him. Later on, as the years passed by, I actually saw him, and I followed him into another room, and where he disappeared. And there was no other way out of the room, so I knew it was him.
Right.
And I've spoken to many people since I've written this book, and they have had many of the same experiences. One thing that's important, I think that you mentioned before, that people question whether or not an animal has a soul.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that before, and first of all, I want to tell you that I'm a scientist. I'm a meteorologist, and it kind of makes me crazy that people think that any other living thing doesn't have a soul. After all, what is a soul? A soul is a combination of our memories and our personalities, and it's an intelligence. So animals have lived longer on this earth than humans have, and if they didn't have intelligence and emotions and basically a soul, they never would have been on this earth for so long.
Right.
So,
and I truly do believe that they do have souls. There's a video that I posted to our Facebook page, facebook.com/talkparanormal. It's of what allegedly, has sort of been circulating the internet for a few days now. It was posted about a week ago to me, but it's a mouse in a mousetrap. And at 43 seconds into the video, you see the mouse unfortunately get caught and dying. Somebody set up a camera to sort of, capture what would happen. But you actually see what looks like the moment of death coinciding with some sort of an anomaly leaving the body of the mouse. There's some sort of a light anomaly, like an orb, something that leaves the body of the mouse. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about the connection, the soul connection that we have to those animals. We have to take a quick break. We're here with Rob Gutro, the author of Pets in the Afterlife, here live on Paranormal, only on Newstalk 980 CJME and Newstalk 650 CKOM. Welcome back to the program. Rob Gutro is a medium. He's also a meteorologist and provides scientific and highly logical explanations about spiritual communications. And tonight, we are speaking to him about the existence of animals in the afterlife, of animal souls. There's a video that we posted to our Facebook page, facebook.com/talkparanormal. Just a note, this is a video that was put onto YouTube, quite some time ago. This video was not in any way, shape, or form filmed by anybody associated with this program. And the reason why we are showing the video on the Facebook page is because it contains, from what I can gather and what I believe, to be a snippet of proof, a snippet of evidence, or at least something interesting and seemingly paranormal. You see in the video at 43 seconds this blur of light that leaves the body of the mouse at almost the exact same time that this poor mouse expires, that this poor mouse passes away. Is that evidence of a soul, of the existence of a soul in an animal? Many of you weighing in right now on the text line. You can text us again, by the way, at 306-306. Somebody saying, the mouse has a soul, cats have souls, humans have individual souls. I am not my brother, but my cat is his father, says Larry in Regina. We also have somebody else saying that they saw the mouse video, and it looks as if the moment of death, the spirit or the life force leaves the body. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Again, facebook.com/talkparanormal is where the video is. Right now we have Rob Gutro here with us on the line. Rob, have you had a chance to see the video?
I have, actually, and I actually saw it before.
It's been around for a little while. What are your thoughts?
That really does show the spirit leaving the body.
Yeah, it's pretty compelling stuff. It's definitely not like I've seen many orb videos. I've seen many, light anomalies, things of that nature that people have sent me, but I've never seen one where the orb, the existence of the orb happens so closely to the point of expiring for a living creature. And to me, that correlation with that moment, it says something, and I think that is a peek at some sort of life force leaving that poor creature's body. I truly do. So animals have souls. They continue off into the afterlife. What is it then that would keep a animal soul from progressing, from moving on to that next plane, in your opinion? Is it the same as something that might keep a human soul back and create a haunting or create a ghost? What do you think?
I think there are a couple of things going on there. Oftentimes people stay back for a number of reasons, like unfinished business. They think they can help their family. They have something that they have to do. They want forgiveness, something that is not done yet. But in terms of pets, sometimes pets will stay behind because they're so closely bonded with someone that they don't want to move on. But oftentimes what I found is that when a pet passes, that one of our relatives or friends on the other side is there to actually welcome them and take them over. In some cases, though, they do stay behind as earthbound ghosts, and I've actually had to cross some over.
You've had to cross over animals?
Yes.
Now, is the technique different than what you might use with a human?
It is, yeah, it is somewhat different. You basically have to open a portal of light to the other side, and you can call people in from the other side that have passed to try and bring the pet on the other side. But in one instance, I actually had to open a portal and toss in a treat
Really?
If the dog, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because they behave the same way in the afterlife that
Yeah.
they behave in physical plane.
So,
And it worked.
so then, with this point of animals having a soul, and I just want to go to one of our text line questions or answers here, I guess I should say rather. I asked the question about what people thought of the video of the mouse and about the existence of animals and souls. And this person is saying, in the Bible, you have to believe in Jesus before you leave to the afterlife. Animals don't have the mental ability to believe in Jesus, therefore cannot leave to the afterlife. So this texter obviously subscribes to one system of belief, and it's a religious system. What do you think about those individuals that say, coming from a religious perspective, animals can't have souls? Do you have any sort of comment towards those individuals in that point of view?
Well, people can believe what they want to believe. I've been fortunate enough to have the gift to talk to people on the other side and pets on the other side, and I've been able to prove that these are pets and people that have died and have messages. All I can say is that when that person dies, then they'll have a different opinion. We also have to keep in mind that we're talking about spirituality here. Spirituality is a general overview of the afterlife. Religions were all developed by man. And there are many, many religions around the world. Some believe that animals have souls, some don't. But I will tell you that every living thing has a soul. For anyone to think that anything is soulless and mindless and can continue to exist, it's scientifically impossible for anything to be without any kind of intelligence to go on living.
There has to be response to stimuli and a whole host of other things that indicate intelligence, and you're absolutely right. If an animal did not possess those simple factors, then it wouldn't continue living, and it wouldn't have that. So science may, in a roundabout way, sort of prove the existence of an animal soul, which is really interesting.
And actually, there was a scientific study. There are two scientific studies that I cited in my book. One was by Dr. Gregory Burns, who is a neuroscientist down at Emory University in Atlanta. Another one is a study that happened simultaneously in the country of Hungary, where they actually did MRIs on a dog's brain to test emotional response. And they were able to train the dogs to stay put in an MRI machine for 90 seconds, same as it takes a human, to measure that response, that emotional response. And they proved, we have scientific proof, that dogs have the same emotional response that humans do. It's science, and it's proven. And it's published in two different parts of the world.
Now, Rob, there's another text message that's coming in from an individual here who recently had to put down their cat, and says that there was a change, a shift in the energy in the room when they had to, unfortunately, euthanize their poor animal. It was almost like this animal was giving off some sort of there was something there that it wasn't like the soul leaving the body, but it was just this warmth that filled the room. I want to discuss that a little bit with you just after this next break here, as to exactly what might have had happen in that instance with this poor individual, Eileen, who had to put down her cat and had that energy shift, that energy change happen in the room. We're here with Rob Gutro. We're discussing whether or not animals continue on into the afterlife and whether or not they have souls. Controversial video right now up on Facebook.com/TalkParanormal. It's a video of a mouse in a mousetrap, and you at 43 seconds apparently see the soul of the mouse leave the body. Weigh in, 306-306. My name is Jeff Richards. This is Paranormal, only on News Talk 980 CJME and News Talk 650 CKOM. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have Rob Gutro on the line right now with us. He is the author of Pets in the Afterlife. And you can also find his blog, Ghosts and Spirits Insights.blogspot.ca. I tripped up on my own words there. We'll post a link to that on the Facebook page as well. Speaking with Rob tonight about the existence of animal souls and the existence of animals in the afterlife. Many of you weighing in on the text line, 306-306, about whether or not you believe that animals continue to live on after they pass away as spirit. Before the break, Rob, I had mentioned mentioned a woman in Regina here who had, she sent us a little brief story about a cat that she had. Her name's Eileen. She put down her cat, and she said that this incredible warmth filled the room, and it was almost like the cat, when they were euthanizing it, was giving off this incredible energy. Have you ever heard of anything like that happening before, Rob? Oh, Rob, are you there? We seem to have lost Rob.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, he's here now. Okay, so sorry, Rob. So Eileen shared the story of this this cat that she had to unfortunately euthanize, and it giving off this incredible warmth into the room as it was expiring. Have you experienced anything like this before, or can you give any sort of comment towards what exactly was going on in that moment?
Sure. Yes, the answer is yes. I have experienced that before. And what happened was the spirit of her cat was basically showing the love that they share, the bond that they share. So typically what happens when people pass over on the other side, when we've crossed people over, I belong to a paranormal investigation team that actually crosses people over that are earthbound. We've always experienced a warmth in the room. We've always experienced a warmer, like a wall of warm air that comes to us after they cross over. So it makes perfect sense to me.
So this warmth then, that is actually the warmth coming from the place that they are moving to, or is it coming from the actual spiritual energy of the individual itself, in your opinion?
I honestly can't tell you. I don't know the answer to that. It could be both. Because, you know, when you think about the love that people share, whenever you think of a great relationship that you have with someone, it gives you a warm feeling inside. So it could be psychosomatic.
Right.
But when we cross people over, we actually feel a temperature change. So it could also be from the other side. I won't know until I get to the other side.
Of course. Many people still weighing in tonight. 306-306 is the text line. Somebody right now saying that they've seen the spirits on their property of deer that have obviously passed away. Now, are these always spirits of animals that have passed away, or are these sometimes, the essence, or maybe non-earthbound spirit? Maybe these are simply animal spirits that exist on some other plane of existence that aren't necessarily from animals that have been deceased. What's your perspective on that? Are all animal spirits deceased animals, or sometimes are they just simply the essence of that particular animal?
To me, they are an animal that has passed on.
Okay.
But in paranormal investigations, we've learned that there are two different types of hauntings. One is intelligent, which means that the actual ghost is still earthbound and can communicate with you, and the other that's residual, which means that it was an emotional event that kept like an emotional thumbprint in that area.
Yeah, it's like
they could be seeing an emotional.
It's like a photograph almost. It's like an impression that's left in the atmosphere and in the time and the space of that particular location. So to answer that question, as Rob just said, it could be either. It could be something that is residual, or it could be something that is actually the left spirit energy of these deer on your property. Someone else texting in right now about their cat. And now, Rob, you work you refer to yourself as a medium rare. What exactly does that mean?
I call myself a medium rare because I'm really not well done in terms of...
So as just in terms of experience, as far as actually fine-tuning and learning how your gift works, are you sort of at the beginnings of that work, would you say?
I think I'm more in the middle, but the reason I call myself a medium rare is that I actually don't devote 24/7 to it. I don't make a living out of it. My career is in meteorology. So what I do, whenever I get messages, I certainly pass them on. And I'm the kind of medium that doesn't charge for messages. Whenever I get them, I share them because I want people to heal. Right. I want people to feel comforted and to understand that their loved ones continue on the other side.
Now, a few months ago, we had somebody on this program who put forward a really just a hugely dubious claim in my opinion. Her name was Karen. Her name is, I should say, Karen Anderson. She is a psychic from the United States, and she, at the point of time in August, had claimed to be in contact with the spirit of Cecil the lion. Now, I don't know if you recall that story of the lion that was killed in Zimbabwe by a hunter, an American dentist who went over there, and the lion was baited, and there was a whole bunch of really questionable things that happened. But she connected, or she says that she communicated with this animal, and his spirit message was that it was all good. Is sort of what he put forward. What's your perspective? I'm assuming you had been aware of that story previous to me mentioning it. Do you think that an animal like that would be reaching out to, somebody like Karen to deliver that message, or do you think that it would be would there be more people, I guess is what I'm asking, who may also have received that same message? What's your perspective, Rob?
Well, from my personal point of view, the only animals that I've been able to actually communicate with are domesticated ones that know that have interacted with humans, ones that have been exposed to our language, that understand our emotions, that live with us. So wild animals are a different story, because to me, in my experience, unless they can convey or relate to people, it's much harder for them to communicate. So what might have been happening with her, her communication, is that maybe perhaps a human spirit was assisting with the message from the lion on the other side. Because I really think that animals need to be domesticated to confer with us.
See, and that's really interesting, because this lion had lived on this reserve for 13 years, and assumably he had his fair share of interactions with humans. I wouldn't say that he was domesticated by any stretch of the imagination, but probably as close to domesticated, short of being on stage with Siegfried and Roy, as a lion might have been. So it's interesting, because when she first brought the story forward, I kind of went, oh, okay, well, maybe, but then, as we talked to her, as we interviewed her on the show, it became really interesting for me, because she was very, very genuine, and she is an animal communicator. Now, you do not work solely as an animal communicator, but there are individuals who do. Now, is that something that you've ever thought towards putting more time, more effort, more energy into? Is specifically trying to make contact happen with animal souls versus human souls in your mediumship work?
Actually, no, I haven't. I just actually get the messages. Whenever the messages come in, whether they be from animal or from human, I pass them on. And, there's a lot of people that want to talk on the other side. So.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You keep me busy a lot.
It's a great service that you do provide. Just making yourself even open to those messages and to receiving those, because there's a lot of individuals who may need that comfort, who might need that contact. Several of you right now who are texting us, many of you have some very interesting stories to relay. I encourage you, please call us 1-877-300-7275. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Mr. Rob Gutro to talk maybe to you, reaching out on the other side, but also to him about the connection with animals on the other side. This is Paranormal, only on Newstalk 980 CJME and Newstalk 650 CKOM. Welcome back to the program. We have Rob Gutro with us right now. He is the author of Pets and the Afterlife, a book that you can actually find on Amazon.com if you search Rob Gutro, ROBGUTRO. There's also a link to it on his blog, which we will be posting on the Jeff Richards Paranormal Facebook page momentarily. Many of you texting in with great experiences that you've had with your own animals as far as the existence of their souls. And we're going to be taking some of those calls here momentarily for this last segment of the show. Rob, many people here are responding in the positive to animals having souls. We have only a very few individuals that are saying that animals don't have souls, but most of the overwhelming majority of people, I would say, are saying that animals do have souls. In fact, our first caller here is her name's Felicity. She texted into the show. She had an experience where she had to put down a cat. And I'll let her share the story, but it's really, really interesting. She texted us this experience, and I asked her to call in. So we have Felicity here on the line with us now, Rob. Felicity, you're live with Jeff Richards and Rob Gutro. Please share your story with us.
Yeah, this happened when we were in England, so it's good 20 years ago now. And we had a little cat, and he was getting up there in age, and he had cancer. And we had to take him to the vet and have him euthanized. And for a good while after, where he used to sleep, if I looked in that direction, I could see like molecules moving.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So
you could see the actual, almost like a physical manifestation of his spirit energy.
Yeah.
That was left there at an impression.
Yeah, not of his body, but of his spirit. Yeah, it was like moving molecules. That's the only way I can describe it.
Now, Rob, have you experienced anything like that previously?
Yes, absolutely. Oftentimes, spirits will come together. There'll be like little particles of light, and sometimes they'll coalesce into an orb, which is the most simple form a ghost can take, or a spirit. And you can tell an orb, usually because it has colors and designs in it. But oftentimes, too, people whose pets have passed, sometimes they'll even see a shadow or a quick movement out of the corner of their eye, oftentimes in the places where their pet used to like to stay.
Wow. Felicity, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that story with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too. Good night.
Good night. We now have a text message question here for you, Rob. This individual, I think, Ethan, we may have lost Rob again. Can we get him back on there? I'm not sure. He seems to be on hold. Okay, there he is. This is a text message question coming in, Rob. This individual, this is Donna from Bruno, Saskatchewan. She says she recently had to put down her two beautiful puppies last week due to health matters.
Oh my God.
Would you possibly be able to know if their energy is still around Donna from Bruno and if they felt love from her? Now, this is something that's tough, obviously, for you to make that connection happen with just words on a screen being relayed by me. But can you give any insight to Donna from Bruno, Rob?
Was it? It seems to me that there was some kind of congenital issue there, but it's hard to actually pinpoint at the moment.
Of course.
Oftentimes, though, the best thing to do, Donna, is to ask your relatives on the other side to come and take the puppies if they're still earthbound and bring them on the other side. Especially because puppies haven't yet learned the language. You know, they haven't really learned our language. They're like infants.
Yeah.
So they would probably need help from the other side to cross over.
So there we are.
But they certainly do tune into our energy. They do that immediately. Puppies and kittens bond with us immediately.
And what are some things that people can look for if maybe they feel that there is one of their animals that is hanging around? What are some of the most common ways that they may manifest or that they may let us know that they're there?
There's a lot of ways, actually. You can hear nails on the floor. You might be able to hear a bark or a meow. You could hear a collar jingle. Any kind of audible sound is very common. Sometimes too, pets will actually make physical contact. I've talked to a lot of cat owners who had cats that passed, and they report that the spirit of their cat will jump up on their bed, and they'll feel little impressions of their feet going across the bed or curling up on the bed. Dogs are the same way. They'll brush up against you. So
in a lot of ways, it's just very similar to as if they were there with you. You know, the sounds, the smells, being able to actually feel their physical presence. It's almost like it's just the same types of physical manifestations that they may put into place if they were actually right there physically in the room with you, still alive today.
Yes, people and pets behave the same way in the afterlife that they behave in the physical plane.
Now, here's an individual, Rob, who's asking about the the reincarnation theory. This is the theory of he says the theory of reincarnation starts with an animal having a soul and going to still live as another species. Have you seen any recycled animal souls? My producer Ethan was just sharing a story of a family dog that his family has, that they believe may be reincarnated because it shares some of the exact idiosyncrasies and characteristics that their previous dog who passed away had, and very strange things like sitting and watching food being prepared but never taking any of the food, or sitting and behaving exactly as this previously trained now deceased animal had acted, without any of the training that was afforded to that old animal given to the new animal. Is it possible that this is a reincarnated spirit, and does that happen? Do we see recycled animal souls?
They do come back, and I will tell you that my puppy Buzz was an old soul who had been here before. I could tell that, but just by looking in his eyes. But to answer his question, the answer is most likely not, and here's why. Oftentimes, I find messages that I get from animals, dogs and cats that have crossed over, say that they come back and they teach the new pet how to behave in the house. Therefore, the new pet actually demonstrates the same habits that the pet who passed has, and that happens quite often.
That is really interesting. So Ethan's dog may not necessarily be a reincarnated spirit, but it might be being trained by the ghost of the old dog.
Exactly.
That is, I would have never in a million years have made that connection, Rob. That is a really interesting connection to have made. Now, there are obviously individuals who are out there right now who may feel that they have some sort of a connection with a spirit animal or some animal that they have with them that has passed on. And if they do, are they able to contact you, Rob, on your blog or on your Facebook page? Is that possible?
Absolutely. I probably get about between, 3 and 6 emails a week of people whose animals passed. And fortunately, I've been able to connect with, I think, pretty much every one of them for the past couple of years. So, yes, they're more than welcome. They may have a little bit to wait.
All right. You're a busy guy. It's coming right up to the holidays. So we will post the link on our Facebook page just on this break here. Rob's phenomenal book, Pets in the Afterlife, is available on Amazon.com. You can also get it via his blog, ghostsandspiritsinsights.blogspot.ca, which, again, we will be posting that link to the Facebook page very, very shortly. Rob, thank you so much for sharing all of your insight here with us tonight and with the paranormal audience. It's greatly appreciated.
My pleasure, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays as well. Have a fantastic Christmas and right on into the new year as well for you, sir. Thank you so much. That is Rob Gutro. Again, he is the author of Pets in the Afterlife. Many of you weighing in on the Facebook page and on the text line, 306-306, about the mouse video, by the way, that we did post. Let us know. What do you think? We're going to be taking your calls after the break, by the way, as well, giving you some insight into your future with my own intuitive ability here just after this break. You can text us at 306-306 or give us a call at 1-877-300-7275. My name is Jeff Richards. This is Paranormal. You're listening to News Talk 980 CJME and News Talk 650 CKOM.